My name is Joy, and my testimony is simply based on character and identity transformation. I was born into a Christian household, grew up in church. My parents are heavily involved in the faith. They love Jesus. I always knew about Jesus growing up. And I think I'm really grateful for how I grew up. You know, it really shaped a lot of my morals, how I acted, etc. But I think growing up, I really adopted a sense of shyness, timidity, anxiety, and I think I really believed that's who I was for a large part of my life. Until I got to university. Obviously that was the first time I moved out of home, and I think even before university there was like an urge growing for me to get closer to Christ, but I wasn't really necessarily sure how I would go about that until I got to university. So yeah, I started university 2022. Obviously I'm by myself, learning how to be a bit more independent, and obviously because of my background, you know, go to church on a Sunday. So at university, you know, I was searching for churches, searching for fellowships, but I was still doing things of the world. So not until second semester of university, I joined a fellowship called Pensa, shout out Pensa. And just joining that space really allowed me to seek God for myself, really allowed me to surround myself with like-minded individuals who also love Christ, and for me to actually seek God in a way where I'm doing it by myself. I'm not because my parents have told me, or not because I've been dragged to do it. And through doing that, I can see how much the Lord has shaped me. Like I said before, I grew up very shy, very timid, and because a lot of people would kind of see that in me, it was said to me a lot, so I kind of took it upon myself and believed that I was shy, I was timid. But obviously we know that in his word it says that he has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and of a sound mind. 2022 I joined a Christian fellowship, was going to church regularly, and I was able to really encounter the Lord for myself. And through, you know, growing in scripture, growing in godly relationships, I was able to really receive what the Lord has spoken over my life. You know, he has given us courage, he has given us power, he has given us boldness. And honestly, just seeing how much I have transformed within the last 3 years, I can only say that it's by the grace of God. So 2022, that's when I rededicated my life to Christ and said, you know, I'm choosing to be a follower of Christ because I decide to. And I just want to thank the Lord for just enabling me to step into what he has called me to be, and to step into that power, to step into that boldness. And also another part of my testimony would be around the topic of peace. I think growing up I was always anxious, you know, always overthinking, always on overdrive, but I think recently, especially on this retreat, I think the Lord has just been reminding me that he has called me his child. I am his child, and I think I've just been called back into that, you know, sonship. You know, I'm a daughter of his, and he's really just showing me to just rest in his peace. I'm not sure what the scripture is, but it basically says that those minds who are stayed on him, he will keep them in perfect peace, and that we should, you know, cast all of our cares onto him because he cares for us. So this retreat has really just allowed me to step into that peace that isn't, you know, floating around. It's guaranteed. Like, he has given it to us through Christ. We inherit that same peace. And so yeah, that is my testimony.